Hello friends, welcome to the channel. Today, I'm going to share one of my personal experiences with you. It was a night like any other, or so I thought. The forest was eerily silent, the only sound the crackling of the campfire and the occasional hoot of an owl. I was nestled in my tent, a book in hand, trying to ignore the creeping feeling of unease that had settled over me since I arrived. Suddenly, a twig snapped in the distance. My heart pounded in my chest as I strained to listen. The silence returned, but it was a heavy, expectant silence that made the hairs on my neck stand on end. I told myself it was just an animal, a deer perhaps, but the feeling of being watched persisted. Then I heard it, a soft, rhythmic tapping sound, like fingernails scratching against bark. It was coming from the trees, moving closer. I froze, my breath caught in my throat. The tapping grew louder, more insistent, and I could hear a low, guttural growl accompanying it. I scrambled out of my tent, my flashlight beam cutting through the darkness. The trees loomed around me like silent sentinels, their branches gnarled and twisted. The tapping stopped, and the growl faded into a low moan. I spun around, my flashlight beam darting from tree to tree, but I saw nothing. Then I saw it. A pair of glowing red eyes, like embers in the darkness, staring back at me from the depths of the forest. I gasped, my heart hammering against my ribs. The eyes moved, gliding through the trees, and I could hear the soft padding of footsteps on the forest floor. I turned and ran, my flashlight beam bouncing wildly through the trees. The growling was closer now, and I could hear the snapping of twigs as the creature pursued me. I stumbled through the undergrowth, my lungs burning, my legs aching. I burst into a clearing, the campfire a distant beacon in the darkness. I could hear the creature behind me, its growls growing louder, closer. I reached the edge of the clearing and turned, my flashlight beam sweeping across the trees. And then I saw it. A tall, shadowy figure, its eyes glowing red, its face obscured by the darkness. It stood motionless, watching me, its growl a low, menacing rumble. I didn't wait to see more. I turned and ran, my feet pounding against the ground, my breath coming in ragged gasps. I reached my tent, my sanctuary, and dove inside, zipping it shut behind me. I huddled in the darkness, my heart pounding, my body trembling. The growling grew louder, the tapping more insistent, and I could feel the creature circling my tent, its presence a suffocating weight. I don't know how long I stayed like that, but eventually the sounds faded, the creature retreating back into the depths of the forest. I lay there, exhausted, my body still trembling, my mind reeling from what I had seen. I never went back to that forest. Some things are best left undisturbed, some mysteries are best left unsolved, and some stories are best left untold.